Everybody, Loto for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time around it is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck. So, as a lot of you guys know, this deck, well, Blue Eyes White Dragon in general has a special place in my heart because Blue Eyes is one of my favorite monsters and I spent way too much money trying to build this deck. So yeah, I got it built and everything. It's a really fun deck. There's a good chance it'll be meta next format after, well, provided Konami kills off the other meta decks right now. But right now, as it is, it has a really good matchup against like Monarchs, kind of-ish, and it has a really good matchup against PK Fire, but it has a hard time against Cosmos in my general experience because Dark Destroyer just kind of ruins your combos and everything. Anyway, so let's get on a deck profile and yeah. First and foremost, 3 Blue Eyes Alternative Dragons. I think this is kind of self-explanatory. You need 3 of him. You reveal a Blue Eyes, special summon him. You can only do that once per turn, but once he's been special summoned that way, he can be special summoned other ways. And he can pop a monster once per turn. But if you do that, he can't attack. And I kind of hate it how he can't attack the turn you pop a monster. But I understand why Konami did that. I mean, like, really. Next up, I play 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I feel like that he's needed at 3 as well in this deck. He's the centerpiece of the deck. And, well, you need him to summon alternative. Also, if you're wondering what all this is right here, I have my Blue Eyes signed by Kaiba himself. Forgot his name. Eric Stewart, that's his name. Took me a second. And his handwriting's bad, so yeah. Next up, I play 3 the Ancient Whitestone, the Whitestone of Ancients. I always call it the Ancient Whitestone, but it's the Whitestone of Ancients. Basically, during the end phase that this card hit the graveyard, you can special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Sadly, you can't special summon alternative because, well, he can't be special summoned at a first buy from the hand through his own effect. And then if this is in the graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard, add a Blue Eyes card from your graveyard to your hand. Really, really good. Also, he's a tuner, so you can make level 9 synchros with him, or level 8 in some circumstances. And, well, he's also card of consonance target, really. Next up, I play 3 Sage. I feel like he's needed at 3. He searches out the tuner, and he searches out Maiden. He's just really good. You normal summon him, you search out a tuner. That's actually not a once per turn effect, so if you can normal summon him twice, you get 2 of searches. But the other, like, real main reason why you play him is his other effect where you discard him, target an effect monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and then special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck. It has a really nasty combo with Maiden where you discard him, target Maiden, Maiden effect, chain, special summon a Blue Eyes from deck, and then that will still resolve Sage's effect, summoning out another Blue Eyes. So you get 2 Blue Eyes, and that's an instant rank 8. So it's really, really good. Next up, I play 2 Dragon Spirit of White. This card is kind of like an MST. Basically, whenever it's summoned, you target a spell trap card your opponent controls, banish it, which is really good. While it's in the hand or graveyard, it's a normal monster, and this card is always treated as a Blue Eyes. So it's really, really good. Also, if during your player's turn, if your opponent controls a monster, you can send it to the graveyard and then special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, which is really, really good. And it also lets you dodge targeting effects like 101, Castell, Dark Destroyer, stuff like that. Next up, I play 2 Archbrave Dragon. This guy I'm still clinging to because I really like him. So if he's in the graveyard, or rather, so I say, if he is sent to the graveyard during the next standby phase, you can special summon a level 7 or 8 dragon from your graveyard except himself. And if he is special summoned from the graveyard, he destroys and banishes all face-up spells and trap cards your opponent controls, which is stupid good. It just really is. And then he gains 200 attack points for each one he banishes, which is, again, really good. You can get rid of your opponent's pendulum skills, you can get rid of, like, your opponent's domain and their other continuous spells and traps that Monarchs play. It just is really, really good against Monarchs and pendulum decks. And against really anything that plays a lot of spells and traps. Now for the one-ups, I play 1 Maiden. I don't like doing this, but I ended up having to. Maiden she's way too defensive, but however, she has some really good combos with Sage. I want to bump her up to 2, but like I don't know like what I would cut, although I think I have a general idea of what I might cut for another maiden. But she's really good, but however, she's just way too defensive, and this deck is a very offensive deck now. Back whenever this deck was, like, back whenever it was just Maiden, Azure Eyes, and Silver Scry, yeah, I was a more defensive variant of the deck and everything, but nowadays it's more offensive. I play one Felgrand. I know some people don't play him at all, but I like him at 1. He's just a general spot removal for monsters, and if he kills a monster in battle, he's a monster reborn for a level 7 or 8 dragon from either player's graveyard. So, hey, if I don't have any, I can just steal Blue Eyes from my opponent's graveyard, and then whack them with it, and then make a rank 8 main phase 2. So, really good. And then another card I play is Amorphage Goliath. Basically, he's the boss monster of Amorphages that's not named Drac Overlord. While he's on field, neither player can special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Amorphage monsters. And yeah, he's just really good. I play one of them. A lot of people have been telling me to drop him to the side deck. So if I end up doing that, I'm going to replace him with another Maiden, because I really do want to play another Maiden. So right now, though, I'm playing one of them in my main deck. It's been working really well for me. Just going first turn, Dark Matter, and then Goliath, locking out my opponent's extra deck and having like one to discard and grave. It's just really, really good. The only issue I have with this card is that if he dies, you're locked out of him for the rest of the duel because he's in your extra deck. Which is why I've been seeing some Blue Eyes players also play Pendulum, what is it called? Pendulum Reborn? Something like that. Next up, for the spells, I play 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. This card is called the Gospel of Revival in Japan, but oh well. This card is really good. It's a monster reborn for level 7 or 8 dragons, and then if it's in the graveyard and a dragon or dragons you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish it instead. Really good spell card, and it kind of is what ties the deck together. Next up, this deck is basically nothing but rank 8, so trade in at 3 is a must. For the 2 ofs, I play 2 Dragon Ravine. I feel like that in this deck you should play as many as you're allowed, and I feel like 2 is just really good. Just being able to dump stuff, get more dragons in the graveyard, it's really, really nice. I like it quite a bit. 2 Dragon Shrine, basically the same thing. Get as many dragons as possible in your graveyard. 2 Cards of Consonance. You only really play 3 targets, and I just play 2 so I see it more often. Excuse me. 2 Twin Twister. Everything likes being in the graveyard except for Maiden and Sage, so you really just simply, you have so many discard targets it's not even funny. So Twin Twister is a must at 2 in this deck, and I side a 3rd. I know some people play 3, but I side a 3rd. Now then, for the 1-ofs, I play 1 Polymerization. I play Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate and Regardell Twin Burst, that's why. I only have 1 Melody. I'm trying to get a second, but just don't sue me, please. 1 Silver Scry. You only really have 2 targets, and that's Blue Eyes and Dragon Spirit, so that's why I only played 1 of it. 1 Terraforming. I played the 2 Dragon Ravine and Mausoleum of Light. That's why I play 1 Terraforming. For Mausoleum of Light, for those who don't know what it does, basically, in addition to your normal summon, you can normal summon 1 level 1 light tuner monster, and then once per turn, you can target an effect monster you control, send 1 normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and that effect monster that you targeted gains attack equal to that monster's level by 100. So, like, let's say you send Blue Eyes, that monster that you targeted will go up by 800. So it works really well with Maiden, but that's about it. That's why I only play 1 of it. But it's just really helpful, and also lets you just do more stuff with the tuners and everything. It has another effect in Grave where if you where if it's in Graveyard and you banish it, you can search out a Burst Stream of Destruction. But that's not really, like, nobody plays Burst Stream, so yeah. And for the last spell card, I play 1 Dragon Smear. Again, I play Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, and this card just lets me go into them easier. And then for the last, then I just play 2 trap cards, and that's 2 Call to Haunted. Everything likes being in Grave, so yeah, kind of needed. Now then, for the extra deck, I play quite a few rank 8s, quite a few synchros, I think way too many synchros actually, and a few fusions. So let's get on to this. 1 Felgrand. Hey, I have 2 out of 3 Felgrands in here. This guy's really good. He needs 2 level 8s to go into. I don't really like going into him very often because he's weaker than my 2 Blue Eyes that I usually overlay for him. But he's really nice because you detach and exceeds material during your opponent's turn, target a monster, its effects are negated, and it's unaffected by other card effects for the rest of his turn. The reason why I honestly really don't like this is that he targets. Like, that's the only real issue. But he's one of the better rank 8s, and he just really helps out for other things. One, number 38, Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy. I'm pretty sure I memorized that name. Anyway, so this guy's really good. The main effect that you use is that during your player's turn, if a spell card is activated, you can negate that effect and then attach it to him as an exceeds material. He can negate a spell effect activating or a spell card, so it's really, really good. Like if your opponent activates like the Monarch spell or trap card, that's a continuous spell that lets him search out a Monarch whenever a Monarch is tribute summoned. You chain that effect and they don't get the search, and you get to steal their spell card. So it's really good. He has another effect where if an Xyz monster dies, you can target an Xyz monster and it gains that monster's attack points. And he has another effect where you can redirect an attack to him by detaching Xyz material. It's okay, really. Number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. This guy's my favorite, like Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster, aside from like Neo Galaxy, but that's like really the only reason why I play him, other than just going into Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter. You can either play him or number 62, it's up to you. But really, I prefer 101. Also, this guy is really helpful against Cosmos. If you guys don't know what he does, during the start of your battle phase, you can detach an Xyz material, negate all other monster effects on the field, and then if your opponent activates a card effect during the battle phase, he gets another 1,000 attack power and can attack again. That only, like, the attack power can continuously go up, but he only gets one additional attack per activation during the battle phase. So it's really, really good. He only can in total make 2 attacks during the battle phase. But however, you run over, like, I don't know, a Forerunner, they're gonna want to activate that effect because they don't want Forerunner to be dead in the graveyard. So then they're gonna get that Swift Strider, and then you're able to run over the Swift Strider too. Really good. And then, of course, Dark Matter Dragon for the Xyz, for the last of the Xyz monsters. He just ditches everything in graveyard, disrupts your opponent's main deck and everything. Really good monster. I wish I could make more of them once a duel. Like, you can, but, like, the extra deck is kind of tight in this build. Like, I know what people would say to cut out, but it's kind of tight in this particular build of mine. And so I only played one of it. Next up for the Synchros, I play one Ancient Fairy Dragon. There's a lot of field spells running around. I mean, you have Domain Monarchs, you have my field spells. I have a total of 3 field spells, so you can get a lot of life points. And also, there's a nasty little combo that you can do with this card during first turn to make Crystal Wing. And I think you can also make Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter, depending on your hand. But it's a really good card overall, and I like it a lot. One Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, mostly to disrupt your opponent's plays and stuff. It never lasts more than 1 turn, but it's more here to disrupt your opponent's plays. One Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, because either the 2 level 7 dudes plus a level 1 tuner goes straight into him. Now for the 2 ofs, I play 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. He is really good. During Emperor's turn, you can negate a monster effect that activates in the graveyard. If during your player's turn, you can tribute him, special summon a dragon, I believe it's a light dragon type synchro monster from your extra deck, but it's destroyed during the end phase. And finally, while he's on the field, neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, which is obviously anti-pendulum. Heck, this whole thing is basically anti-pendulum. It's a really, really good card. And then finally, for the Synchros, I play 2 Azure Eyes. I know some people play 1 of them, some people play 3, some people play 2. I go with 2 because I feel like it's a good balance between 1 and 3, and it just is really useful. Also, use your main target to go into with Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Really good monster. Protects your other monsters and protects him. And he's a walking monster reborn during each standby phase, which, hey, is always good. Now for the fusions, I play 1 Twin Burst. He's okay. He's not really particularly amazing, but he's okay. And then I play 3 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons. Now you're probably thinking, why are you playing 3? Well, if you guys don't know what Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate does, if he is the only monster you control, after he attacks, you can send another Blue Eyes Fusion monster from your extract to the graveyard. He can attack again. He can do this a maximum of 2 times, which means he can attack 3 times, which means he can put out, let's see here, 45 plus 45, that is 9,000, and then plus another 45, I believe that's 12,500, no, 13,500 damage that he can do by himself. Really, really good. He is an OTK, one card OTK. If your opponent doesn't have any monsters out on field, it's game instantly, and even if they do, it's most likely going to be game. Now, the other thing that he does is if he is in the graveyard and your opponent targets a Blue Eyes monster you control, you can banish him from the graveyard, negate that effect, and destroy it. And that's why you play 2, I mean, you play 3, because even though you only make 1, which is all you need, you send the other 2, and then, oh hey, if your opponent tries to Castell or 101 this guy afterwards, you have 2 negates. So that's always really good. Also, it also negates targeting of other Blue Eyes monsters, so like let's say I have Blue Eyes Alternative, and your opponent tries to get rid of that or something, that also can stop it. So he's just really good in the graveyard and on field. Anyways guys, so that's the deck in general. Tell me what you guys think about this build. I like it a lot. Going into this guy is always fun and getting to see people's faces. Oh yeah, also you can use Alternative Dragon to go into him, but Alternative has to be either on field or in grave. So guys, that's the build. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See you all later. Peace out and goodbye.